Welcome to the favorites presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Happy Friday. Happy 2026. NFL Week 18 is upon us. I'm Brandon Kravitz, joined by my two faves and your two faves, the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, Stuckey, and the Queen of the Pod, Miss Kendra Middleton. You guys look as young as you did in 2025. On today's episode, we're going to submit our official plays for the week. We've got our stat of the day, courtesy of Evan Abrams, coming up in a moment. Two Kings and a Queen Parlay. We've got some Sling TV nominations to get to as well. Three games that Kendra has excluded from the rundown: Chiefs Raiders, Cowboys Giants, Vikings Packers, Sayonara. Kendra, are we sticking with that? These games not to be
Yeah,
discussed.
dead to me. He who shall not be named.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Let's kick things off with Evan's shrimply unbelievable stat of the week, straight from the primer. The 13-3 Seahawks and the 12-4 San Francisco 49ers. They play Saturday night for the NFC West crown. Since 1990, this is just the second week 17 or week 18 divisional matchup in which both teams have a 75% win percentage. The other was last year. The Vikings and the Lions week 18 game, also featuring Sam Darnold in a game that was won by the Detroit Lions. Darnold's stat line in that game: 18 of 41, 166 yards with a QB rating of 55. Stuckey, should we be concerned about a Sam Darnold pressure spot meltdown type of game?
No, I wouldn't say a meltdown. I mean, in that game, he was under a ton of pressure. Um, but the 49ers are incapable of generating any pressure. So I think we'll have clean pockets to operate in. And when you can get pressure on Darnold, that's when he really starts to falter. But I will say, I don't, this Seattle offense is trending in the wrong direction. I mean, if you look at, it's basically been a tale of two seasons. First 9 weeks of the year, they were second in drop back EPA per play. Darnold had 16 touchdowns, five interceptions, 21 to 4 big time throw to turnover worthy play rate. Elite numbers. However, since week 10, they've fallen all the way to 23rd in the league in drop back EPA per play. Darnold has the same number of touchdowns and interceptions. So he went from 21 to 4 ratio to 9 to 9, eight big time throws, 14 turnover worthy plays. I think this offense has been figured out a bit. They use a lot of heavy personnel. They're very reliant on play action. Teams are just saying, hey, you can run the ball if you want. We're going to take away the explosive passing play. We're going to bracket JSN, make sure he doesn't beat us. And that's really put this Seattle offense in a bit of a blender. And it really started in week 10. They got away with it for a couple weeks. Like you wouldn't be able to tell by their scores because they were scoring on defense and special teams. But this offense is not operating anywhere close to the same level that it was in the first half of the year. And that's what you can expect from the 49ers here. It is a bad defense, especially since losing Warner and Bosa. I think they haven't had either since week 7. And over that time frame, they ranked 30th in success rate, ahead of only the Cardinals and Commanders. So it's a bad defense. They can't get pressure. So you know what Saleh's going to do here is he's going to play a lot of deep zone. He's going to force Seattle to methodically drive the field without Darnold making a mistake, which he's always prone to. And hopefully they can find a way to get a pressure or two on a key third down to force a stop. So I don't think this has a Darnold disaster game written all over it just because of the quality of the San Francisco defense. But it's definitely a concern come playoff time. And you do have to keep in mind that Seattle is most likely without their left tackle again, and that's been an issue as well.
Yeah, we have both tackles that are questionable in this game, so perhaps evening out between Trent Williams and Charles Cross
Kittle
on
too
the
is
Seattle
questionable, which
side.
is just massive. Like you can get away with that against, I mean, the 49ers, their offense has been on fire, but I mean, they have played some horrendous defenses over the past 6 weeks. I mean, they've played the Titans, uh, the Panthers, the Bears. Um, who else? I'm trying to think. Who am I forgetting? The Cardinals and the Colts. The Colts had no corners. The Cardinals' entire defense was hurt. Tennessee's defense was hurt as well. Chicago is dealing with injuries. So, you take those four teams who are really bad defenses and had injuries, they averaged 42 points per game. But if you look at the other two games, Cleveland, they only averaged 3.9 yards per play. They got a bunch of short fields, some fluky stuff. And then against Carolina, who's also a below average defense, not terrible, but not a good defense. Purdy threw three interceptions. So there's a little bit of fool's gold in this 49ers offense because of the level of competition they face. No doubt Purdy's on fire and the offense is rolling, but they've definitely faced a pretty easy schedule of late. You can get away without having Kittle in those games, but against Seattle, who's number two in EPA per play on defense, I think you need him. Not only do you need his playmaking, but you need his blocking in the run game, especially if Williams can't go. So that's a big one to watch.
Kendra, how about this as far as Brock Purdy goes? The 49ers are 7-1 outright, 6-2 against the spread when Brock Purdy starts a game this year. So not only on fire statistically, but on fire in terms of those that have been backing San Francisco.
Let me ask you guys this, because this is what I'm looking at in this game. The coach of the year race is probably the closest in all of the awards, in my opinion. You got to think Ben Johnson, you got to think Liam Cohen, and you got to think these two guys. Does the winner of this game kind of maybe become our coach of the year?
Let's see where the odds are right now, because I'm with you as far as the trying to figure out who to give this award to is a total crapshoot because there's so many coaches that deserve this, and Mike Vrabel is a big part of that with the turnaround
Yeah,
that
him too. I
that
just think
the
that the
Patriots have
current,
had.
I was gonna say, I think the current discourse surrounding the Patriots, like regardless if it like right now they're just allegations, and there's no way to have an opinion about allegations. But I think some of that noise surrounding the Patriots right now is silently going to hurt him.
So Vrabel is the odds-on favorite. He's the only one with minus odds. He's at minus
That's kind of
140.
crazy to me.
And Shanahan is right behind him. And to me, I've been on the 49ers are underrated train here, but even that, I think Liam Cohen, maybe it's the state of Florida
Ben
bias.
Johnson, though, like,
And Ben Johnson's 35-1. And Sean Payton,
whoa.
this should also be mentioned. I mean, I just don't even know where to go with this. To me,
I mean,
there's not like a bettable angle to this because I have no idea. I've just flipped several coins here.
I think that if the San Francisco wins, it's Shanahan gets it. If they lose, it's Vrabel. Um, because if Shanahan gets this team to the one seed, right, like with all the injuries that they've had on defense, I mean, everyone, including me, was basically writing them off.
And half the
Uh,
season with the backup quarterback, too.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback, they've had injuries on offense too that they've had to deal with. Brandon Ayuk, like their
Is
wide
Pearsall out this
receivers.
weekend?
Pearsall
I think he
should
is out.
play, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna
So
play.
yeah, I think that's how it's going to go. But I don't know. I'm not an award expert, but I think if the 49ers win, small underdogs, then you got to give it to Shanahan. If not, I think you give it to Vrabel, assuming that they win. I think that's how it's going to go. But if you're looking for an actionable award bet, um, I look at and an AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, minus 20,000. So if you want to bet $100 to win 50 cents, that's a winner right there. I'm kidding, but I don't know. I think that's how it's going to go, but we shall see.
By the way, as we're talking about this on DraftKings, Ben Johnson went from 35-1 to 30-1. So, um,
Kendra
I
just
think
bet
that
it.
that's
yeah.
so crazy.
What are you doing over
Like
here,
to
Kendra? You're
do,
moving lines.
oh, maybe who's to say? I've only been talking about it at work all week.
Okay, well, there's something to that then. Back to football in a moment. Time to do this for the first time in 2026. Let's delve into the weird, the bizarre, the random as we kick it over to Stuckey for our random question of the week.
Okay. It just slipped my mind what my question was. I gotta come. Oh my gosh.
You
All right.
got
If you
this.
could, man, I had a good one. I'm gonna have to save it
I
for
feel
next
like
week.
we need some Jeopardy music.
I've
You could
just,
always go with the standard resolution questions as well.
all right.
We already did that.
Did we
If
do
you
that
could,
already? I have no memory.
if you could only choose two sports to watch and bet. So all other sports and like college football is separate from NFL. Like, so you think about like a
Oh.
betting menu on DraftKings. Like you can only choose two, and those are the only ones you can watch too. So you got to take
Wait, I have a
into
question. So would I have to choose between like the Premier League, the World Cup, and the Olympics, or could I just say soccer?
no, you can just say soccer.
That
Okay.
covers so much ground.
So um no, but yeah, let's just make it American sports. So just American sports. So you could say like, I mean, if you wanted to say MLS, but no one's going to say that. So just American sports. So it's like NBA, NHL,
Well, that takes F1 out of it.
MLB, NFL, college football, college basketball. You could say like F1, Kendra, or NASCAR or anything. But you can only choose two. The rest are completely dead to you. You don't even know scores. You can't bet it. You
Oh.
can't watch it. It's blacked out on your phone, on your TV.
Oh God, this is so ridiculously easy for me. I'm just gonna answer and then let Kendra hem and haw over her response. NFL, NBA. Next question. I would miss betting on Major League Baseball, but there's no way I'd give up the NFL or the NBA from a viewing or from a gambling perspective. So that, to me, this is so easy.
The tough thing about the NFL though is, I mean, now they're taking over like every day of the year, but like it's only the majority of it is like 18 regular season days, right? So like
Yeah.
when it comes to like betting and watching, like the consideration with NBA, NHL, MLB is you have games like every day for months and months and months and months. Um, so that's the tough thing about the NFL. So I think this is really tough for me, Kendra. I'll let you go first.
It would be really tough to not bet on March Madness as well. If we're
You
dropping
can't even
that.
watch it. I have
Oh
to
yeah, and we
say,
can't watch it.
if we're just doing American sports, I'm gonna say NFL and college football because those are like my two favorites, and I'm fine with it just being like a grind for like 25 weeks a year and then living your life the rest of the time, especially when the weather's nice. But if we weren't just doing it's close with F1 for me, but football forever and always. But if we were allowed to do international sports, I would say the NFL and soccer.
I would not be able to drop soccer from my list fast enough.
That's
That
me with
You
sport
NBA.
is just
uncultured swine.
That sport is, I've tried over the years. We have a
Uncultured.
team in my backyard in Orlando. I just can't do it. I
Yeah, because you're
cannot do
watching
this
the
sport.
MLS.
Well,
Who watch
even internationally, I understand. Like, I get into the World Cup to a degree, but if I was told tomorrow soccer has been canceled across the globe, I would have zero reaction to it. None.
uncultured? Boo.
The
That's
sport
that's me with
fucking
NBA.
sucks.
If I could never choose NBA as one of my two sports. Imagine I'd have to care about the NBA regular season and watch it. Oh my God.
That's my daily life. So funny.
So NBA I'm crossing off. Um, and then yeah, I mean the way that I look at it, my grind now. I mean, I used to bet MLB every day. I don't really have an edge anymore, and I kind of have I just dabble now. So I'm taking my summer and my my spring just to do football and maybe college basketball prep and travel and relax. So I got to cover like August to the end of March. My first love is college basketball, and that is like every day, games every day from November through March Madness. So that's one. And then it comes down to NFL or college football. I mean, there's more games in college football. So I got to go college football. So I'm going to go all college. I guess I'm wearing BBOC. It would suck to give up the NFL, but that's why this is a tough question. Evan, what do you got?
My order of just events of things like this would be NFL, March Madness, World Cup, college football, and then NHL, NBA, and MLB
Ball
playoffs. And those
nowhere.
three.
Wow,
So
look at that. You just
Evan
rattled
Abrams.
off like 10 sports.
So NFL and March Madness, I guess would be the answers if it's college basketball, but I'd probably go NFL and World Cup.
Ball nowhere.
Even though it's
Evan
once every
Abrams.
4
No,
years.
no, you have to
You
choose
put one that's once
You have to
every
choose one. You can only bet this sport. You can't bet any other sport. You only can choose two.
Then I'd probably go NFL and college football if it's just like a whole sport that I have to bet on,
And then
unless it's
okay.
like an event.
So yeah, I'm going all college for the volume. But yeah, dropping NFL would I'd have to really think about it.
I would save me so much money if I dropped the NFL. It is the hard. I find the NFL to be the toughest. It's the most fun sport to bet, but also the most aggravating. I make
Well, it's definitely the
significant,
most efficient of any of
yeah,
the major sports out there by far.
and you
Look at the
just get
limits on
so
game day.
emotionally invested. It's just such a you wait all week for it, and you
I feel that way about
overanalyze this
Formula
shit.
One because there's only 20 drive. Well, now there's 22 drivers as
Formula
of
One,
coming
that
up.
is, I think that would drop that faster than NBA.
To be fair, Kravitz, you don't really wait all week for the NFL anymore. So
Yeah, yeah, fair. Roasted.
For a full slate. But yes, you know what? Give me Tuesday games, okay? Tired of waiting as it is. Let's get to action or distraction. Lamar Jackson says that he is playing on Sunday night against the Steelers. He says that he will be out there 100%. The line has not budged, so I guess everybody just assumed that this would be the case. Action or distraction, Kendra, on Lamar's health heading into this game. Is that enough to make you want in or out of either side?
I I hate to use the word lean, but I leaned Ravens anyway, especially because we all knew that this was the direction it was going to go. My apprehension to get into this game is just because I think that everyone is an idiot. I'm scared they're not going to play Derrick Henry. I'm scared Lamar is going to get hurt again. I am scared of this situation. And it's insane that this unhinged asshole Lions fan is probably going to dictate the AFC North. And I am not happy about it because if DK's in this game, he's good for a point and a half. This is a lot different. Like, this is a lot different. We're having a very different discussion here. And I just hate that this is how we are going to get this game now. So, too many question marks. Like I said, lean Ravens. We all knew this was going to happen. If you love the Ravens, I'm sure this makes you feel better.
I think lean hate, quick sidebar, has gone too far. If you're in the sports betting content industry, you can't and shouldn't bet on everything, but you should probably have an opinion on everything. And I hear that far too often, and people are like, "Ah, this person said lean. That's so lame." What do you want? Do you want
Do we
people
have
in
a
sports?
synonym?
I don't know. Yeah, let's come up with a different word for it because it's probably overused. But I just offer you some reprieve. I think lean hate has gone too far. What about you, Stuckey? Where are you at on this game? I'm on the sidelines as it stands right now.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. That's, I think, the right
Yeah,
answer because we just don't know what Lamar is going to look like and is he really 100%? And if not, is he 90? Is he 80? Is he 70? He's had so many injuries all year, and we've seen just like a couple of flashes here and there, but we haven't really seen the full Lamar. I think that's a stretch to expect him to be fully healthy with the same burst, and then that impacts. And by the way, the Steelers have done as good of a job against Lamar with their defense as any team in the league. But if he just doesn't have that same burst and mobility, that impacts the entire rushing game.
TJ Watt
His
allegedly going to play this weekend.
no, that's big.
Who's that?
TJ.
Yeah, and the Steelers defense should be healthier this week. Um, for what it's worth, I mean, I always bring this stat up because it's pretty crazy. When these two teams have played since Harbaugh and Tomlin have been there, any whenever the underdog of three or more points is 23, so 20 wins, three losses, and three pushes. 20 and three against the spread. That's insane. The underdog catching three or more in this matchup. They're usually close. They're usually low scoring. I do think, I mean, you said Metcalf might be worth 1.5 points. It might be more than that, honestly,
Yeah,
because,
I think that that's what books would give him, but I agree with you. It's more.
and like it's because they just don't have anyone else who can get open. And you don't have to just the gravity of Metcalf when he's out there. And they haven't hit explosive plays all year, except for that game against Baltimore earlier this season. But a lot of that was Metcalf. And you just don't have to respect any of the other receivers. So that enables you to defend the run and dedicate more resources to the box. Now, the one thing is the Ravens don't get much pressure, so maybe Rodgers will be more comfortable than he was last week against Cleveland, which can get pressure at an elite level. But you just don't know on Lamar. I think that it's smart to probably play him, and he gives you the best chance to win a Super Bowl. Like, because part of me says, like, look, Huntley would be fine to win this game. The running game was cooking with him, but like Huntley's not winning the Super Bowl. So you want to get Lamar back, see if you can win this game, and then get him back into like a flow, a rhythm, looking healthy going into the playoffs. Because honestly, if the Ravens get in, they can they could go to the Super Bowl. I mean, like you look at the AFC, who are you really scared of? No one. It's
Anybody
completely
in the
wide
AFC
open.
could go to the
We've
Super
just been
Bowl.
Yeah, that's
waiting
what I
for
mean.
so long for the Ravens to look like that team, and it hasn't happened yet. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but I mean, they still could, even the version that we've seen, they can still go to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Like the AFC is that wide open. It's not even about the Ravens being that much better than everyone. It's just that it's wide open. I think like the Bills have major flaws. The Jags are probably playing better than anyone. Those two teams are going to probably play each other in the first round. Um, so you're
uh,
so like
this is a
the
hard one.
Texans won't be easy. That's who they're probably going to play in the first round. Um, but they can make a run. But in order to do that, you need Lamar, at 80, 90%. So, but from a betting perspective, you're just guessing because his accuracy has also been off since he came back from injury. His on target rate, his catchable ball rate, and now with a back injury, how does that impact it? I don't think anyone can really say with much confidence. I think the one bet worth making in this game at 41 or better is the under. The Steelers' offense is just so limited without Metcalf. Huge divisional game, a lot on the line. I think you'll see both teams play close to the best. Divisional matchups second time around usually trend under in the NFL. So I think this will be like a lower scoring game, like 20 to 17 ish. So I would look at the under. I don't know on Lamar, so I can't really have much confidence in either side.
The Steelers are 7-2 outright and against the spread against the Ravens since 2021 for what it's worth. The Packers are locked into the 7th seed in the NFC. They'll open the playoffs or the wild card game on the road against either the Bears or the Eagles. We know that. The Vikings have been eliminated from playoff contention, and it looks like they're going with Brosmer in this game. But Stuckey, action or distraction on this being a good idea for the Packers to basically punt to the playoffs, given their lack of recent momentum. They've lost 3 straight, and they're just going to roll out with that same crew in the playoffs as if they're able to fix all of it. So is there action or distraction on that being a good idea?
Wait, I thought McCarthy was in line to start. Am I wrong on that?
Well, let me double check that. But either way, on the Green Bay side,
I think McCarthy. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I
he
think
logged a full practice. It
yeah, I
has
think
not
he's
been
going to
confirmed.
start. And it's going to be McCarthy versus Clayton Tune is what it looks like. No, I think this is the right move. You're locked into the 7th seed. Last year, you played in week 18 and you suffered significant injuries. You've had so many injuries already this year. You cannot afford anymore. I'm not a huge believer in, momentum. McVay has always rested his starters over seeding. And this isn't even, you're not even going for any seeding. You cannot afford any more injuries if you're the Packers. You just rest up. You spend this week game planning for your potential opponent next week. And that is all you worry about is next week. You do not care about this game. You do not put anyone out there that even has a bruise, a chipped fingernail. They bit their tongue at dinner on Saturday night. You sit them on Sunday. Like you don't do anything here. There's no upside. So, and like you mentioned momentum, like they don't have any momentum right now. And momentum's as good as the last quarter that you played. I'm a believer in that. So, uh, I I think that they're making the right move here. They learned from last year. So yeah, you just punt this game. And I like the Vikings in this game. Like the line is move. We talked about this on the Action Network podcast. I bet some Vikings -6, which was like scary, knowing that you could be betting Max Brosner -6. But like the Packers, first of all, Clayton Tune against the Flores defense, and that defense is balling out right now. They're playing as well as any unit in the league. So Clayton Tune against with probably missing a bunch of offensive linemen, weapons against the Vikings defense, that's not going to end well. And like I mentioned, they're probably not game planning. There's not going to be like, you're not going to show anything here. Like they probably didn't spend much time on this game plan. They're just throwing Clayton Tune to the Wolves. And then the Packers defense, they're going to be sitting all their guys that are important. They've already had injuries. They've already been trending downward. I mean, this is a Packers defense that since week 11, they're 26 in EPA per play, 26 in success rate. That's when they lost Wyatt, and then they lost Parsons. So I think they're making the right move. I also think it lends itself to a Vikings bet. Scary to lay this number with McCarthy, maybe Brosmer. I just like, how are the Packers scoring in this game? The Vikings defense might score more than the Packers offense. Maybe there's Clayton Tune to Matthew Golden. They played together in college. Maybe Golden has a big day. Can look at like a Golden anytime touchdown. But yeah, I think this is a Viking spot.
Wow. Kendra, I know that we said we weren't going to talk about this game, but this definitely just got added to my teaser portfolio for the week. I will be on the Vikings, but yeah, that 7.5 is a little too heavy for me. So I'm going to bet that down. We'll find a partner with that one. By the way, Justin Jefferson, 53 yards away from reaching 1,000 on the season. His prop has been around that number. So over on Justin Jefferson might not be a bad idea. You know that hitting that 1,000 mark is going to be really important to him. Now, for the 400th year in a row, exercising more is the leading New Year's resolution for people in 2026. Kendra, action or distraction on that being easily the most lame resolution imaginable?
I don't think it's the lamest imaginable. I think it's always a good idea to better yourself, especially after the holidays. We've all been sitting around. It's cold outside. I think moving and trying to do something for you, get healthier, always the play.
Like, can't you get creative with it?
What do you want people to say?
I want, well, come up with like a target weight, come up with some sort of game plan. When someone
Are you
says,
just
I want
jealous
to
that that's
exercise,
not your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, what is your New Year's resolution?
mine is to stop. I want to stop cold turkey complaining. I'm not the biggest whiner.
As you complained about people's New Year's resolution to get healthy.
That's a good point. Stuckey, look, hey,
Gravis is getting owned today.
Stuckey, it's day 2. Okay, I got time to work on this.
No,
the
I
person
think
that says exercise
resolution.
more doesn't have a 6-pack by the end of the first week of the year.
I think it's a good resolution. I mean, that's like the number one thing you can do to improve your life is to work out, eat better. Now, most people aren't going to follow it, but why not have that as a resolution?
But the problem with it isn't the exercise part. Yes, that's important, but it's
the part that I hate is that
it's
all
the
gyms
more
are
part.
full.
Like, what does that even mean? I want to exercise more. You have to come up with something more specific than that.
The only crappy part about this is that I can't get into a reformer class and everyone's filling up my gym.
What does that mean?
It means that like everyone, because of their New Year's resolutions,
Everyone goes to the gym in January.
Yeah, they're taking up my class spots and they're taking up my Smith machine and they're only going to be here for 3 weeks. That's the shitty part about it.
That's right. You know what? Join me on the complain train. We'll hop off in a couple of days. Still to come, 2 kings and a queen get nominated in our weekly parlay. But first, a word about DraftKings from the First Lady.
The Favorites podcast has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at even bigger payout. To get started, use promo code FAVORITES when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code FAVORITES when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours.
So I actually have 2 New Year's resolutions. One is to grow out my hair. The other is to never miss a big game because I don't have access to live TV. I don't have a plan for the former just yet, but Sling TV is my solution to the latter. With Sling TV, you can take full control with flexible package options, 1, 3, and 7-day passes for access to 30 plus live channels, which includes ESPN and TNT. So that covers you for both huge NFL games tomorrow and all of the remaining college football playoff games, which, by the way, have been great. Sling TV will also be coming in clutch for some NFL playoff games as well. So let's talk Panthers, Bucks, Seahawks, Niners, and we'll slam together some plays here. Kendra, get us started. Panthers, Buccaneers. What do you like?
I need Panthers to lose on Sunday because you guys know that I have a future for them to come in second in the division. But Rico Dowdle, I'm going to go over 60 rushing yards for him, plus 121. He needs 7 yards for incentives, but they need a big day from him regardless. So I'm going to go after Rico Dowdle.
Dowdle's got those incentives. I like that idea. Stuckey, what about you?
I'm going with the Bucks. We could throw money line in here, but I hate the Bucks. I've been the head of the Bucks stink train. Been driving that train for 2 months. They haven't covered in 2 months. They're 0-8 against the spread. I just think this is the bottom. And the Panthers on the road don't give me any confidence. But this is mainly a numbers play. Uh, the Bucks were laying 3 in Carolina 2 weeks ago. Now they're laying 2.5, expensive 2.5, 3 at home. I think this is the bottom. I'm buying low on the Bucks.
Okay. I need to change my answer then because I was gonna take the Sad Cats, but since we are looking at incentives, what about Emeka Egbuka, who is closing in on 1,000 yards receiving? So let's see exactly where that
That's
number
insane
is.
considering how much he sat out.
Yeah, well, he was so good at the start of the year. He needs 70 receiving yards to get to 1,000 on the season. So his number is not going to be quite that high with Evans back in the fold. So let's see what we got on Ibuka as receiving yards 25 plus.
I mean, he's like the 5th option now.
It's fine. We're gonna take that. All right,
Yeah.
we're adding. If you get the Bucks, we got to get there somehow. So let's go Emeka Ibuka at 25 plus, and that'll do it for our Bucks Panthers leans. What about Seahawks 49ers? I'm going to take San Francisco here plus the 1.5. The 49ers have been scorching hot. I do think that they match up well with their counterpart in Seattle. We've seen the offense for the Seahawks start to dip in productivity as of late. And Brock Purdy has just been an ATM for people that have backed him. 6-2 against the
way
spread
you just
in starts
said
this
Brock
year.
was great out of nowhere. I don't know why that made me laugh. You really dropped the Brock.
That's that. I think that's the wrestling fan in me.
I didn't mean to cut you
Lesnar.
off, but the way that you said that really just made me giggle.
I think this is. I think this number settles where it's at. This is my plant the flag game, so I won't get into it any further. But I don't trust Sam Darnold in these sorts of situations. Happy to take San Francisco here. What about you, Kendra?
Well, now you're going to have to trust Sam Darnold because I need him to throw over 2 touchdowns for him to hit his incentives. I got in on this last week. Probably going to chase it again this week. Needs to throw 3. So I'm going 2 plus minus 136. So you better get on the Sam Darnold train and you better get on it right now.
Damn. All right. I don't know how both of these, I guess these both could get home. The 49ers are going to have to outscore Seattle in order for them to cover this number. What about you, Stuckey?
Well, we're gonna have to really. I don't know how we're gonna hit all these, but I like the under, the game under.
Oh, God.
So this is gonna have to be like 20, 24-20. Darnold. Wait, you have the 49ers. Yeah, 24-20, 49ers.
That's realistic.
But yeah, I like the game under. Divisional game. I already talked about this. The Seattle offense is trending down. The 49ers offense has benefited from playing a lot of bad defenses. You're not going to potentially have both left tackles, maybe no Kittle. Seattle's defense is elite. I think the 49ers defense can just keep everything in front of them. I think this will be a game where the clock's moving throughout. So let's go with the under. This is a special one. Game under, Darnold 2+ touchdowns and 49ers.
That's 12-1, by the way.
I feel like we should get like 100-1 on that.
That's a fun one to slam together. Good luck sweating that. With so many great games in the coming days, Sling TV is your solution to instant access to live TV, starting as low as $4.99. There's not a better time to acquaint yourself with 1, 3, and 7-day passes from Sling TV. Offer applies to Orange one-day pass. Restrictions apply. It is time for the reason you all came here today. Our 2 Kings and a Queen Parlay get nominated right now. Kendra, get us started with your 2 nominations.
I hate this week. You guys know I hate this week. I only have one bet logged in the app, and we've already talked about it, but I've had it for days now. So your choices are going to be Bengals now 7.5 or the Lions getting 3 points. Pick your poison.
I like both of these. I'm surprised that you were able to get to two, given your disdain for Week 18. But my vote would be for the Lions. I doubt that anybody playing for Dan Campbell isn't going to give it a full go. And with the Bears having something to play for and the Lions having nothing but pride to play for, this feels like the kind of game where the tryhards in the Detroit Lions take care of business.
This is a
And
Lions W.
and the Bears defense has been brutal. So this a nice get right for the Lions offense. I like the Lions +3. That would be my vote on this. Stuckey.
I'm going with the Bengals. Probably my favorite side of the week. Even at 7.5, I played some 7 earlier this week. Would play 7.5. I don't think Fannon's going to play for the Browns. He's like their entire offense. Their offense is dreadful anyway. But like it's just without Fannin, how do they move the ball? And the Cincy defense, I talked about this at length on our podcast, the Action Network podcast, that is actually improving. The rookie linebackers are playing better. They changed their front. So Slayton is playing better against the run. They're getting something from Murphy. I mean, their corners right now on the outside. They moved Dax Hill up on the outside week 10. They're they're playing as well as anybody in the league right now. And then you just have a new coordinator, Al Golden, who's figured some things out. Their defense is legitimately playing much, much better. It's still not a great defense, but it's much better. And this Bengals offense is rolling. The offensive line is playing better. I just don't think the Browns can keep up. I think Bengals smash them. And we know the Browns on the road, that's when you fade them. I mean, they're 6-19 against the spread, 6-19 against the spread over the past 3 years. That's under 25%, failing to cover by about 6 points per game. At home is when you bet them. That's because their defense just doesn't play as well away from them. So I love the Bengals. I think they win by double digits. So Evan's going to have to break the tie.
Yeah, nobody has the better home field advantage in the NFL than the Cleveland Browns because they're so bad on the road. I mean, preferably, I'd probably like this at 7. So at DraftKings, 6.5, 7 versus 7.5 because Week 18 is chaos and you just don't know. But Bengals are the play here. Detroit and Chicago, who the hell knows what's going to happen in that game? Detroit could literally lay down because that's probably what they should based off of a bunch of different factors. But it's
Get the fourth place schedule.
Yeah, but you have no idea what he's going to do. So I'd rather go with Burrow ending the season so well and still missing the playoffs, which is the storyline we'll probably head into the offseason with.
I mean, we could go 6.5. We could buy it.
You just might as well.
Yeah, that would be preferable. The Bengals are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, 4-1 since Burrow came back. So they have been a profitable side as of late, and it's all directly correlated to the return of their quarterback. And they're still somewhat undervalued because of how bad they were for the stretch without Joe Burrows. I'm good with it.
And it's
Let's
also
go
their
with the
defense.
Bengals.
I think that's why they're undervalued right now. Their defense, and they played good. I think they're like top 5 in rush success rate since week 10. They've played good rushing teams. I mean, they played the Ravens twice, the Bills, the Pats, the Dolphins. I mean, even the Cardinals offense, they completely shut them down. The Cardinals offense can do some things, but that's the worst team that they played. And I mean, their offense their defense is legitimately playing much better. I mean, DJ Turner is probably the most underrated corner in the league right now. Jalen Davis being able to play in the slot has just enabled them to do so much, and those rookie linebackers are playing better. So I think that's why they're undervalued. We know about the offense, but the defense has actually come along a bit.
I also
Kendra,
like
are
no
you good
wind,
with us
no
buying
weather.
the point here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no win, no
for
weather
sure.
also.
Yeah, it's a parlay. I feel like whenever you have a parlay, you have a little bit of lenience on what you can buy or what you're willing to give up. So yeah, down.
All right. My nominations are Washington +4 against the Eagles, who are benching everybody, and the Saints +3.5. Now I do have a middle opportunity here. My biggest preseason bet was on the Saints team total under at 6.5. I bet it the day that Derek Carr announced his retirement. It was very clear what direction they were going to go in. What I didn't expect is how good this team would be down the stretch of the back end of the season. They have clearly found something in their quarterback. And the most impressive part of their team has been their defense. Over a 4-game winning streak, they've held opponents to 17 points per game. since their blowout loss in week 9, they actually have the number 1 total defense and number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. And this is just a natural letdown spot for Atlanta. Any other week in the season, we'd be targeting this big win as an underdog on Monday Night Football, turn around, play a divisional opponent as a favorite. I like the Saints a lot. And then the Commanders is really just, I mean, this is kind of a trend play. The teams that are resting their starters against opponents that have 6 or less wins over the last 17 seasons, 42% against the spread. That makes it a Commanders side to me. So those are my 2 nominations. Stuckey, your vote.
I hate both of these. I bet the Falcons are this week. I mean, the Falcons are a good team. They're just poorly coached, bad special teams. But the Saints, look, Shuck has looked good. I don't get the offensive rookie of the year stuff. They've played the tanking Bucks. They're a 4-game win streak. The tanking Bucks, the Panthers, the Jets, and the Titans. And before that, they got blown out by the Falcons and lost to the Dolphins. Their schedule over the last month has been an absolute joke. So yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons are a good team that's just been unlucky and they're poorly coached with bad special teams. And there's no Chris Olave. So and Shuck can't deal with pressure, and a lot of these teams that he's played can't get any pressure. The Falcons can generate pressure, but no Chris Olave. Who's he throwing to in this game? It's like Kevin. Their starting receivers. I mean, Mason Tipton might not even play. Their starting receivers in this game are going to be, and they can't run the ball. Are going to be like Kevin Austin and Dante Pettis. That's their receiving core. No. But then the Commanders, like Josh Johnson, the Eagles' offense might be better with Tanner McKee. They might actually open it up.
Hurts is not going to be the only guy sitting on the pine.
I guess if I had to I'll take the hook with. I mean, I guess I'd take the command. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with Olave is this number was parked at 3. Olave is ruled out. It goes up to 3.5. So I mean, all of this stuff is, as you well know, it's baked into the line. That's part of the price. Kendra, where do you vote?
Wait, oh no, I guess I'm voting. I guess I'm voting.
You're voting the Saints, even though you already bet the Falcons?
No, I'm betting I'm voting the Commanders, even though I hate it. I just hate it less.
I was going to say the Saints because we know this Falcons team is going to lose to a bad team and beat an absolute juggernaut. That's the way that this Falcons team has existed this season. It has to be the Saints for me. And the fact that I was on the Saints last week, that was one of the sweatiest bets I'd had all season long. This defense cares. I think some of these guys are probably going to retire after this season. They obviously have the quarterback. Kellen Moore is not backing down. I was going to go with the Saints. So, Evan, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I kind of hate both these as well. I'm kind of in my brain.
Every week, Kravitz.
This is a perfect to end the season. Perfect.
Hold on.
I would not have had it any other way, guys. Thank you.
Honestly, I would consider like a team total over on New Orleans or Washington before I considered trying either of these teams to cover the game. Like if you like the situation, you would like them to score some points, especially with the Washington game because of low total. So I guess
not with
I
the
would
Saints.
go
But a bigger part of my bet on New Orleans is the way their defense has been playing.
Yeah, so maybe Washington if you're going to make me choose.
Okay.
All right.
So. All right. A very excited Washington Commanders bet has been forced into. It's up to 4.5, by the way. So we get to throw that in over.
Yeah, you're going to need every quarter point in this game. So take it.
Okay, so we got the Bengals minus 6.5 and the Commanders plus 4.5. I did not try and force feed the Dolphins plus 10.5 in there, but I definitely thought about it.
I honestly would like that better. Can we go with the Dolphins?
I'm just worried about if the Dolphins are going to play. Like they might sit everybody, like Waddle, A-Chain. None of these guys practiced yesterday. Like most of their good players on defense. This might be just
what happened to the divisional game, Stuckey?
And I'm just saying the Dolphins, like if you look at their practice report yesterday, it's bad. I think there's a good chance that A-Chain doesn't play, Waddle doesn't play.
The Patriots are in bad jail anyway.
I mean, Patriots are literally in jail. Waller, Brewer, their best offensive lineman. I don't think Chop Robinson's playing. Jordan Phillips, Jordan Brooks didn't practice. Minka, like their entire team might be out.
This is
If
not a
the
good time.
Dolphins somehow win this game, holy crap.
Well, and this game isn't in Miami. This is in, I don't know how cold it is up there.
It
You
is
know.
cold.
Yeah,
It
there
was
you go.
8 degrees this morning.
I know it's not Tua anymore, but
Well, it's Texas Quinn Ewers. I don't know how much.
exactly. And Drake May covers. This is from Evan's Primer. Drake May, when he is listed as a favorite of 3 or more, is 9-0 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. As a double-digit favorite, he's 2-0 ATS. So this is
I
just
would
kind of what New
also
England does.
like to point out that Hunter Henry has pass incentives. He needs 5 catches to get $250,000 on Sunday.
Yeah, I worry about a lot of productivity from New England. But all right, Stuckey, what you got?
Yeah, Patriots, keep in mind if they still do have an incentive because if the Jags win, and they lose, they would drop down. So even though the 1 seed isn't likely, and you might be like, well, if the Broncos are rolling, they might bench starters. They still do have incentive.
If I have to watch the Patriots play in Jacksonville, I don't want to watch these two play each other until a championship scenario. That is literally my nightmare.
They would likely play, as of right now, it looks like they would play in the
Bills.
division round. No, I'm saying if the Jags win and the Pats
Oh,
win,
yeah.
they would play each other. All right, I'm going to go with the first choice. We would have been the Bengals, but we already have the Bengals. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I don't care. 7.5, lay it. This is just one team not trying versus one team trying. Flores versus Clayton Tune. Then the Packers sitting everyone, not caring, not game planning for this game. This is just a walkthrough for them. Vikings care. They're playing better. McCarthy, who I think is going to start, has been playing better. I think the Vikings roll. This is like they'll win like I don't know. This will be like 23-3. Um, so Vikings, and then the other one, it's an ugly card. The Raiders plus 5.5. I know no one's going to vote for that, but that line is ridiculous. Like Aludicon was just 13.5 point underdog at home against the Broncos. The Broncos, by the way, were 7.5 point favorites at Vegas. They were laying 13.5 at Aludicon. Now Aludicon's laying close to 6. I know that there's no Bowers. I know that there's no Crosby. They might sit other guys, but so are the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't going to play everyone here. The Chiefs don't want to win. The Chiefs don't want the Raiders to get the number 1 pick. The Chiefs want a better draft selection. The Chiefs veterans are probably going to rest. Did you see them in Tennessee? I don't think they care about this game. So these
I
two
need
teams,
the Raiders to win. I cannot have them have my sweet, sweet summer child, Fernando Mendoza. They cannot ruin him. Please. I
Speaking
need
of
the
which,
Raiders to win this game.
well, Fernando Mendoza in Las Vegas would be pretty funny. So there's a decent chance that the Raiders already have the 1 seed locked up, the number 1 pick, I mean, locked up by the time this game kicks. So if that's the case, maybe they make more. But the guys on the field are going to try. This line's crazy. So those are my two picks.
I vote Vikings.
Raiders plus 5.5, Vikings minus 7.5.
Yeah, easy vote for me, Vikings. I want no part of the.
But
Chiefs
please,
and the
Fernando
Raiders.
Mendoza, no Vegas.
And that was also Chiefs Raiders was on Kendra's no playlist. So
Evan, who would you have voted for since we asked you?
Oh God, the Raiders. So enjoy.
Okay, so we got Bengals
Also,
minus
Kenny
6.5.
Kenny Pickett over Geno Smith, a complete and utter upgrade. Geno Smith gets sacked a million times a game, throws interceptions everywhere. This would be Raiders, and there's a 6 in the market, so I like it.
Oh, yeah, I haven't bet that yet, but I will be on the Raiders, sadly. Bengals minus 6.5 all. Commanders plus 4.5, gross. And Vikings minus 7.5, plus 485 at DraftKings.
You might as well at this point take the Vikings minus 19.5 and really juice that up because they're probably going to blow them out. So I like it.
all right, there you go.
Let's see. Let's juice this up a little bit.
Maybe take it to 10.
I was worried because 8 is a key number, so I don't know if I necessarily want to go above that. So 7.5 might be right, but I do think if 23-3 is viable.
Yeah. We'll keep it as it is. Plus 485.
Where go and find this over on DraftKings. The crown is yours. That'll do it for today's episode. Special thanks to our producers, Gifford Gould, David Payne, Stats Hound, and 2 Kings and a Queen Parlay Efficient. That'd be Evan Abrams, of course. The favorites will return on Sunday night to week 18, plus a playoff preview type of episode. You can catch it right here on Action Network's YouTube page. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time here on the Favorites Podcast, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Happy New Year.